Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Shirt man! All right! Episode 295 of Shirt Show! We're talking with Jaime from At That One Shop in California! Let's go!
Hey guys, if you're new here, my name is Dylan. I'm the owner of Upstate Merch and the host of the Shirt Show podcast. My guest today was Jaime from At That One Shop. I met him, we talked about in the episode like 5 years ago or so, 6 years ago. Did a random shop tour at his place. Loved the guy, became friends, and we've kind of talked here and there throughout the years. But I saw him again at the ISS show, and I was like, hey dude, I really want to have you on the show again. Let's do it. So we had one today. It was great. The great thing about this episode is we kind of just went into life talk. We talked about what it's like to just, I don't want to say grind, but like go through what it is to grow a business. He had like 3 or 4 jobs for so long to kind of grow the shop and get it to what it is and be able to let everything else go and like focus on this thing full time. We talked about at the end how we kind of barely talked about screen printing. I feel like most of this episode was about what it's like to be a business owner, what it's like to kind of make all these things work and the sacrifices we have to do. But a lot, it's just life lessons learned for the most part. So again, you'll learn in this episode that he is just a top-notch human being. So, I hope you enjoy this episode. Reach out to him, let him know what you think about it. Just a great overall dude to know. No matter what you're doing, if you're watching the show, if you're listening to the show, the best way you can support us is to share. To, go on Instagram, share a story, let us know where you are, what you're doing, what you're printing, when you're listening to the episode. If you can comment on the YouTube, if you can like and subscribe, that stuff helps the show a ton. It helps other people discover us. So I'm asking you a personal favor. If you're watching or listening, please just take 2 seconds, subscribe, like, share it. It helps us a ton. I don't want to beg for this, but it's just one of those things that helps the show grow. And that's what we're trying to do. So I appreciate it. If you would like to dive deeper on these episodes, a cool thing you can do is you can sign up for our newsletter. It's shirtshowofficial.com/newsletter. It's more of a Dear Diary, I feel like, for me. Every Sunday-ish, I sit down and I write a little bit about me and what's going on with the shop and life. And then it's, shop hacks, and it's articles from some of our favorite people in the industry. It's industry news from Printing United. A lot of great stuff in there. So if you want to sign up for it, one comes out every week, shirtshowofficial.com/newsletter. This show would not be possible without our amazing partners. Frank. It all starts with a screen. Whether it's new stretches or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best. To find out more, go to graphicscreenfashion.com, greatfuckingscreens.com, or ffffrank.com. Cleaning screens is no fun, but EasyWay makes it way more funner. Their line of eco-friendly chemicals and equipment make reclaiming screens a whole lot easier. Right now is a great time to check them out because they have a new monthly giveaway where you have a chance to win over $250 in product credit. Head over to easyway.com/giveaway to enter today. It's a no-brainer. Why not? $250. You can get some free chemical. It takes nothing. EasyWay is the easiest way. Graphics is the source for production-ready digital art and remote art staffing. They can help any size shop from just starting out to enterprise level. Looking to add a hero to your art department? Check out graphxsource.com. Amazing human beings. Again, Nick Wood for me is one of those people, just fucking awesome dude. All the people I met at Graphic Source, amazing human beings. They just want to help. They're great at what they do. Again, if you're a shop that you're doing the artwork, you're doing the steps, you're smaller, you need a hand, Graphic Source is the one to start with. Again, they can help with a la carte, or they can be your all-time art person and you can pay a monthly fee. So if you need that, be sure to check them out at graphxsource.com. SNS is your premier partner in the apparel industry. With one website, one purchase order, 14 distribution centers, and over 100 beloved brands, you can streamline your ordering and hit free freight faster than ever. SNS has 1 to 2 day shipping with the lowest error rate in the industry. Be sure to order your blanks from ssactivewear.com. I also want to say thank you to SNS for being one of the sponsors for the happy hour. So I appreciate you. Thank you. Normally I'd give a spiel here about how American Apparel is a sponsor, but I do want to say after 2 weeks of printing their stuff and having hundreds of thousands of people come up and talk to me about American Apparel and the shirts, some of the new stuff they have out is awesome. I mean, honestly, they have the iconic 2001, but they have all these new styles and things that are really sweet, fun to print. You should check it out or order samples or call SNS or whatever and try to get some stuff. It's definitely worth checking out, I promise you. For over 90 years, Stahls has been the leading choice among apparel decorators for their heat transfer materials, heat press equipment, and custom transfer services. Not only do they offer some of the best products, but they are always looking to innovate and educate our industry on all things heat press. Head over to stahls.com to order your transfers and check them out on YouTube to be taught a thing or two. Ryonet has always been that solid go-to resource for screen printers. And I mean it when I say that. I've always had a great relationship with Ryonet as far as the people and the education and all of these other things and ordering products from them. But I kind of reached out my hand for some help here recently, and they had zero issue with helping me out. They, again, great human beings. So I think that if you're looking for a partner to buy supplies from or just get advice from, go there. Check them out. Ryonet, screenprinting.com. I feel inspired after this episode. I feel like, I want to go do more good deeds. I want to put good vibes out there. I want to be positive about everything because it's just what this show does to me sometimes. So I do want to say I appreciate all of you. Thank you very much for watching and listening. And I hope you enjoy it. If you do, hit me up on Instagram at ShirtShowOfficial, and I will talk to you there. See you guys. Thank you. What's up, dude? How are you?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Enjoying life, life after Long Beach.
Yeah. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Is that something we need to test?
Yeah. There was a lot of shop owners that were sharing a lot of their stories, and they all started with, want to buy a print shop?
Yeah, for real. Seriously. First of all, thank you for hopping on and doing this with me today. We had the last couple of weeks have been a super blur to me and Christina too. Like we left for, the week before that, even I was prepping and getting everything ready because I was going to be in Vegas doing printing for American Apparel. And then, it was American Apparel, Comfort Colors, Champion, Gildan. And then immediately after that, it was Palm Springs, and then it was Long Beach. So it was I had a week before that of prepping and getting things done. And then we were gone for 2 weeks. And then to end all of that, you just want to come home. And it was just snowstorm bullshit that made pretty much everyone in the Southeast and Northeast not be able to go home. So all of that being said and getting back this week and whatever, it was oh shit. I had a guest lined up and then it didn't work out. And then I texted you at fucking 10 or 11 last night and was like, hey dude, want to do this with me today? So yeah, I just want to say thank you for being fuck yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Long time listener, first time caller. Yeah.
Cool.
I always wanted to say that.
But anyway, how was your Long Beach experience this year?
It was good. It was different. I got to meet a lot of people that I knew of through the show, but not really ever met them.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to put a face to the stories,
Yeah.
And they're so down to earth. You know what I mean? I would have never approached them if I saw them at the show, but for some reason, it's just, I was telling Justin from Oklahoma Tees, I was like, dude, it's crazy. I know everything about you. It's so creepy. I know what ails you. I know what makes you happy. I know what makes you cry. I know everything about
the best part about that is you said that to him in his hotel room when he was just falling asleep in the dark, not at the trade show.
I met Tyler from TC. It was the best. That was the best meet ever. So I went to his Airbnb and I was leaning on the kitchen counter, and he opens the door to the Airbnb and he sees a 6-foot Mexican just standing there. And he's just like, what the hell? And he was he didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to say. He was just and then he finishes opening the door. Then he sees Brian from Sublime, and then he sees everybody else that's in there. He's like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, he's with us. He's with us.
You should have just started screaming at him in Spanish.
Right.
I always tell people, like, there's newish people that go to the show, and they're you can tell they're first or second or third time going to a show or whatever, where it's like they got the backpacks, they got the notepads out, they're taking the seminars, they're whatever, which is great. Like, there's nothing wrong with any of that, but it's like after you do it enough times, you're like, okay, I've seen the show, like I've seen the presses, I've seen the whatever, I don't need the spiels, like I'm just here for the hangs. Like yeah, we can walk around and see like what manufacturers got like new stuff, but after that it's like, okay, where is this person? Like, how do we meet up tonight? What are we doing later? And then it's always the dinners and the hangouts after, where it's like you get the real information of what's working, what's not working, what sales things can we do, all these extra, like the things that we really want to know, basically.
Yeah.
So, I mean, did you kind of absorb any of that this year, or was it more?
No, it was
kind of
more,
walking around.
Yeah, I was kind of walking around. I wasn't really looking into buying anything, but I did see a lot of DTF. I saw a lot of heat presses that looked like normal heat presses, but they weren't normal heat presses, which I was like, okay, I see where the industry's kind of going. But I wasn't looking for any equipment. It was more of the connections, kind of connecting the dots with everybody. I am part of Fabric, so we had a Fabric breakfast, and that was awesome. It was pretty cool to kind of sit there and kind of just have little one-on-ones, with some of the folks, and it's interesting because we're all in the same boat. You know what I mean? Like, it's so weird. Like, it's the same struggles, it's the same fears, it's the same everything.
Yeah, I had a note here to ask you about Fabric, because you had mentioned that last night that you had a meetup this morning, and I didn't know you were doing it. And I don't know if a lot of shops that are doing Fabric want other people to know that they're doing Fabric, or if they're open about it or whatever, because you kind of have to be, to a degree, vulnerable to be like, hey, I'm willing to accept help and I'm willing to join a group. It's like those anonymous groups, you know what I mean? It's like you don't want to like necessarily broadcast that you're doing it, but also like you kind of do to a degree, because you're part of a group now that's trying to better yourselves and whatever. You don't have to necessarily be down on anything. You don't have to be doing bad at anything. You just want to join a group of people who will elevate each other to do other things. So, what made you want to do that? Like, originally when it came about and you were like, oh, should I do this or not do this? Like, what was your mindset? So
I'm not from the print industry. I'm not from the band, right? I'm not like an artist. I have no friends that do what I do, right? So I started listening to the show. I started, being engaged a little bit in the Discord. I just watching the Ryan videos and then going to the my God, I forget his name. He's gonna kill me. All the YouTubers, right? That's all I had. That's all I had, right? And you guys mentioned it in one of the episodes where I walk into my print supplier and I was like, hey, give me a gallon of that red. And it's like, how do you know about this? I was like, my buddies, But I never had that connection with other folks in the industry. So when I had my interview with Fabric, I was completely honest and I said, look, I'm not by all smart, successful, or know what I'm doing. I just know what I've been through, and I know that my journey can teach others on what not to do. And
to be fair, though, before you go any further, I feel like even seasoned vets and like myself and whatever, like there's a lot of times where I say like kind of what you just said right now of like, I'm not smart in this, I don't know this about whatever. Like Christina would yell at me because she's like, don't talk about yourself that way, whatever, blah blah blah. Because the thing is, it's like what you'll learn by getting into Fabric or getting into any group or anything else is, or listening to Shirt Show, is what we hear the most is like, oh, like everybody's just like me, or nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. Like nobody, whether they tell you they do or they don't, like they don't fucking know. Like we know enough to get by. We know enough to get like like you've been there, you've learned whatever, but like nobody has all the answers. That's just not how it works.
Yeah.
So like what I'm saying is, before you get to the next step of this conversation, is like, did you figure out once you joined the group that, oh, I'm not as like unknowing on as many things as I thought I was?
I was validated. Like
Right.
it validated a lot of the things that I've been doing. And it was like, I didn't think I was going to bring a lot to the group. And, you know, I have. And that feels great because it showed me that I am doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I am not just learning, but it's a very good thing when you have a room of folks that are doing the same exact thing and they're having the same exact problems, and they're there to hold you accountable, and they're there to hold you when you're vulnerable, right?
Right.
So it's amazing. And it's like, oh dude, like you went through that, I'm going through that. That means that it's okay. That means that I can move forward and I can, you know, I'm headed in the right direction, in other words, right?
Right. When you walk into these meetings, well, virtual meetings, what is the goal? Like when you sit down and you're like, hey, let's talk, is there like like a goal for everybody? Like, hey, let's all try to reach this thing, or let's all learn this subject or whatever? Or is it just like case by case with every person? And you guys are just like, what can we help with each other with this week? Like, how does that work?
So, I can't really get into the details of it, but I will share the overall. So
Yeah. I don't need people's names or details. I just want to know, like,
yeah.
again, like I don't do it. I'm in a group with a bunch of other people and other chats and all this stuff that kind of feels similar, where we'll help each other out no matter what and whatever situations.
Yeah.
I'm just saying Fabric in particular, like how is it structured?
So we meet once a month, and there's already a list of items that we have to present and we have to track. These are set by our coach and us as a team and individuals. We also get to set our own expectations, our own goals. And aside from that, we, you know, have each other to bounce off ideas off of, right? So we'll come in and we'll share, you know, hey, I've been struggling for this month, and, you know, if anybody has any input, and then, you know, so on and so on. Our group took it an extra step, and we created our own side channel, you know, chat, where we talk to each other at least once a day. Like
Right.
we're active, like we're supporting each other. I recall this time that I texted the group and I said, hey, how do you know, like, if this is what you're supposed to be doing? Because it feels like you're constantly going against the grain. Like, how do you know? Man, right, like as soon as I hit send, I put my phone in my pocket, my phone starts ringing. I had one owner call me, the second owner call me, and they're like, what's up? What's going on? Talk to me. What's the issue? And I was just like, man, okay, well, this happened. No, you got to do this and you got to do that. And it was, to me, it was like, man, this is amazing. It's not just
Right.
it's not just a meeting where you go and it's like, hey, my name's Jaime, these are my problems. No, it's like we're here to help and we're here to support each other, you know?
Yeah. I think just as this industry in general, like the more, like we were talking about, like going to the shows and stuff, it's like so many people are so genuine and just like honest, like good people, and they just want to help each other out. Like even you, like I had texted you before the show because I was kind of scrambling to find like a heat press, and you were like, what do you got? What do you need, dude? I got you. And I was like, I didn't even tell you what heat press I needed yet. Like, and then I told you which one. You were like, well, I don't have that one. I have this one, but I can get this, or I'll go here and I'll grab this. And then I ended up buying one on Amazon, which worked out really well. And then at the end of it, you were like, oh, I can take that from you. But I knew full well you were just like, I could use that heat press. I don't need it, but like I will get it from you just so you don't have to fucking ship it back across the states. And I knew looking at you, I was just like, this is why we're friends. Like this is like the genuine human being just trying to like help me out, even though it was just like, it was unnecessary, but like you definitely, you wanted to help me. And again, like I super appreciate that, but it was just one of those things where, you know, people in this industry are out to help each other, which is awesome to see. So I'm glad that's like the case with this group for you. But that being said, too, we got into this without saying who you are or what you do. And the good part about your story is that you kind of, I mean, you gave me the news in Long Beach that you're officially unemployed.
Yeah.
So I want to get to that point. Like, I need your story of why you're doing this, how you got to where you are, and then why you're officially unemployed out of this industry.
Yeah. My story has 3 parts, so I'll start from the beginning so it all makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not an artist. I'm not none of that. I'm a geek. I'm a tech guy. I've loved computers since I was little. I was at the mall with my girlfriend, now my wife, and we saw a little kiosk, and they were selling T-shirts. I wanted a shirt. It's a sign that they have on the 5 freeway if you're going to San Diego or coming from San Diego. It's basically, you've seen those signs that they have like a cow and it says cow crossing.
Mm-hmm.
Where this one is a family running across the street or the freeway, right? Because they have a lot of immigrants crossing the border, and so it has the family, right? And I was like, hey, like I want that, and she's like, that's so racist. I was like, I can wear it, you can't wear it. So I was like, I want my shirt.
Is that a real sign though?
It's a real sign.
That's crazy.
That is a real sign, yeah. So I saw it and I was like, hey, can you put that on the shirt? And he's like, yeah. So at the time, I didn't know what anything was, right? But this guy pulls out this vinyl transfer and, pops the shirt on the press, brings down the press. And then he's like, oh, so what are you guys up to? Oh, we're just walking around shopping. Okay, cool. Lifts the press, takes out the shirt, takes out the vinyl. Here you go. And I'm like, cool, I got my shirt. I was all happy. And she was like, it took him like 20 seconds to make $20. And I was like, that's cool. I got my shirt, so I'm good. And she's like, no, but think about it. Like, how much is the machine? How much is the press? Like, how much is the rent? Like, how many do you have to sell? And I was like, I don't care. I have my shirt. Leave me alone. Like, I'm just hanging out. Like, I don't want to think about that. And she kept poking at it. And I'm just like, you know what? You're right. Like, okay, I started doing the math. Okay, well, maybe he spends this much and this much. And like, well, I don't know how much the equipment is. So that Monday, I start getting emails. Here's a link. This is where you buy the stuff. This is what it looks like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what the hell? And I was
all from her?
All from her. And I was like, all right, let's go. So that following weekend, we end up at McLogan's. McLogan's is a local supplier here in LA. I walk in, and shout outs to Joey. Joey's my man, dude. I walk in and he's like, hey, what's up? I was like, hey, I'm trying to like do this. Like, I got you. He's like, we'll get you a heat press. We'll get you a rolling plotter. Here, take this. He threw so much stuff at me. I was like, what the hell? Like, he's like, here. And I'm like, dude, like I have a budget. And he's like, I'm only charging you for the press and the plotter. That's it. Everything else is free. And I was like, dude, there was rolls, dude, like rolls and rolls. Like, here, you're going to need extra needles. You're going to need this. You're going to need that. You're going to need, you need a little tool to scrape off the thing. And I was like, what the hell? And I was like, okay, let's do it. So bought it again.
Well, to his credit, he knew that if he got you hooked and got you everything you needed, you would be back. You would be spending a lot more coming back.
Yeah. I never thought about it like that, but I guess he did see me as a crackhead and was like, hey, if I
he was like, yeah, here's the good stuff, whatever. I'll stomp on it later and give you the shitty stuff after you're already hooked. No discredit to him. I think that's smart of him to do. And that's a great guy thing to do is like, just be like, hey, like, let me get you what you need and get going. I do also want to comment on like 2 things. One, that's how I got started too. Same thing. Like my girlfriend had bought buttons and I saw them and I was like, fucking $100 or whatever she paid for this like handful of buttons. I was like, there's no way this is actually whatever. So same thing. I went down that rabbit hole of like, oh, anyone could do it. And I feel like that's how a lot of screen printers get started is like, oh, I want to make a shirt. It looks easy. I can make a shirt. And then they get down the rabbit hole and then they buy a press and buy emulsion and buy stuff for a dark room and all screens and everything. And then by the time they invest all this shit, they're like, well, I can't stop now. I just spent thousands of dollars to like get started. And like, I get that all the time with like live printing stuff where people come up and they're like, oh, like you see them taking pictures and they're like, oh, I how much is this? Like, how much is this press? Or because they see you literally just like load a shirt, pull it down, print it, pull it, throw it on the dryer. And they're like, wow, you made a shirt in like 3 seconds. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, you don't understand how much pre-press was involved to make this shirt in 3 seconds. Like the artwork, making the screen, like the inks, like setting everything up. And I was like, I don't give them all that information. I'm just like, yeah, this is what it is. Like, and let them find out on their own. So, yeah, it's I guess the ignorance to it is what gets people to be like, let's give it a try.
I mean, that's what got me, right? It's like, oh, that was super simple. But then you fast forward and it's like, you know, I got the stuff, I got it home. Like I said, I'm techie, right? So I was like, all right, cool. Let me open this up. And it says here that I need Photoshop or I need Illustrator. And I was like, okay. And I installed it and borrowed it because I didn't have it, right? So I was like, okay. And then so I ran a decal. It cut it. I weeded the decal. I transferred. I put it on the table. And I was like, okay, now what? And she's like, I think that's it. And I was like, there's no way. Like, that is super simple. Like, there's no way that I did that just now. And she's like, that's the way they do it. I was like, okay. So then I started with banners. I started doing vinyl stickers. And then my dad told one of his friends that I was doing shirts. So then he ordered 24 shirts of a muffler shop, a tiny, tiny logo on the left chest, and then a back that also had so much detail. Well, what did Jaime do? He went on to his little roll-in and he started plotting. And 45 hours later, after weeding every single letter, I was like, dude, like, I'm not doing this. There's no way. Like, I'm not going to offer this. So somebody ordered a banner. I didn't know what vectoring was. So I was frustrated. My brother called me at that time and he's like, hey, are you busy? And I said, I'm trying to work on this thing, but I don't know what to do. And he's like, oh, call Mondo. Mondo owns a print shop and he actually does all of our jerseys for our baseball league. And I was like, okay. So I call this guy. I don't know who he is. Just tell him Frank sent you. All right. Hey, Mondo, I'm Frank's brother. And he's like, who? Frank's brother from your league? He's like, what do you want? And I was like, oh, I wanted to see if he can help me with this. Like, I'm starting to do this. He's like, well, you have to vector it. You have to outline it. So, okay, I'll outline it. And that's it. He was telling me how to do it in Illustrator. I was doing it in Corel. They don't translate. So I was like, okay, so I figured it out. And then maybe 3 weeks after, I call him again. Hey, Mondo, I want to ask. He's like, dude, what do you want? And I was like, I'm having trouble with it. Bro, stop wasting my time. If you want to learn this, come to my shop, but stop calling me. Like, if you really want to learn it, come to my shop. I was like, okay. So I show up. Like a week later, I show up and I'm like, hey, he's like, oh, you're that guy that keeps calling me. And I'm like, yeah, I want to learn, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, well, what do you do? I said, well, I work in IT, I fix computers and all that. And he's like, okay, cool. I was like, so if you have time, I can come back some other day. He's like, no, I'll show you. What do you want to learn? I said, well, how do you grab an image from the internet and trace it or whatever, live trace or whatever that's called? And he's like, well, then he shows me his 100 steps on how to do it. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I pull out I always had a little flash drive with me. I was like, here, let me show you. So I plug it in, install the program. Now it's called the snipping tool in Windows. Well, I had the version that never existed in Windows. So I installed it, grabbed it, snipped it, dropped it. And he was like, dude, what the hell? I was like, well, I told you I knew tech. And he's like, the shop is yours. Here's the trade. You work on all my computers and you better my process and I'll teach you whatever you want to learn. I was like, all right, sweet. So
hell yeah.
But all he did was twill. He did laser and he did embroidery. That's all he did. So there was no screen printing. I still didn't know anything about screen printing. I didn't even know it existed. Fast forward, I kept going and going and going. I do remember one thing that he told me. There was times that I wouldn't show up, right? But I was working 2 jobs. I would work 2 jobs, then go to the shop, and then go home. And then,
so you were working 2 jobs, not including working at his place?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then when did you go to his place? Because
at night,
was he there at the same
he
time?
was there at the same time. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So, he told me, he called me one day. He's like, "Hey, are you on your way to the shop?" And I was like, "No, I'm gonna go home. Gotta take care of a couple of things." And he's like, "So you're not really serious about this, right?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "When you have a business, you have to show up every single day, whether you have something to do or nothing to do, because there's always something to do." And I was like, "Damn, okay." That really stuck. Now I live by it. So fast forward, he moves to a bigger place. Then he brings in this thing called screen printing. And I walk in and he's, printing, and I'm like, "What the hell is this bootleg shit?" Like, that's not how you print a shirt. Like, bro, like, shirts are made in a weird mystical land with like magicians and tooth fairies, and like, that's not real. And so he started printing, and I was like kind of in and out. I didn't want to do it, but I did want to do it. But, at that time I already had, 2 kids. I don't know. I was working too much. And I picked up a third job as a promoter. I was promoting a Mexican restaurant, and we were offering like comedy nights on Wednesdays, special events on Fridays. So I was doing that, and I was just like all over the place.
I was going to say, it sounds like you got a lot of things going on.
Yeah. So I did all that. Plus I was working, and then plus my side gig. And then I was just like, I have to take a break. So he closed his shop, and I was kind of like, man, like, that sucks. Like, that was my kind of like my getaway to go and just do something creative. I stopped doing that for a minute, and then I was helping a buddy of mine that he wanted to start printing. I kind of got into it again, and then I met somebody, and that took me into a whole different direction where I was doing the designing, marketing for this company. We made it all the way to New Jersey. We sat in front of Toys R Us, and after we came back from Toys R Us, it just kind of fell apart, and it didn't work. And I found myself in my office, in my garage, on the floor, crying. I don't leave this part out in the story ever, because it's the most important part of it, because you have to understand how low someone is in order to understand why they work so hard.
Mm-hmm.
I was literally on the floor, like, I failed. What did I do? Mind you, I have 2 jobs. So me having that mentality of always failing has always clouded everything around me, because I want to be able to succeed. I still don't see myself as successful, because I don't even know what that is, right? I keep chasing it.
The hard part about that, though, too, is like, I'm learning that now, because I had like, been doing all this stuff for a long time, and a lot of things in my childhood and whatever, is like, I'm actually coming to the terms with now, with being like, almost 40, of like, failing is growing up. And I don't know why they don't like teach this to younger kids and stuff. It's like, failing isn't a bad thing, like, at all. Like, I feel like all growing up, everything, it was like, failing is the worst thing you can do. Like, this is horrible, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that just immediately gets burned into your brain for forever, that like, I can't fail at anything, or I am a failure, and like, life's not worth living, and fucking all this other stuff. It's like, I would rather have been told like, hey, go try anything. Like, if it works out, awesome. Like, keep going.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work out, awesome. What did you learn from that? Like, write it down, like, embed it in your brain. Like, what came from that? And then try something else, or put the shit that you learned, like, to good use with something. Like, it's, I hate, because it's like bro culture, like fucking motivational speaker stuff, but it's like, that's real. Like, failure is just a way to learn what not to do other stuff. I talk about it on the show all the time, about how like, I can safely say certain things to people about printing or this and that. And it's like, I feel comfortable knowing because I failed like 150 times at something before I'm like, oh, this works now. And I think it's just, you need to accept that like loss. But yeah, like in the moment, like you're saying, like on the ground crying and stuff, like I've been there a bunch of times. I've been there more times in the last year than I've been there in a long time. And that's just because of, whatever, numerous things. But I'm just saying that like, I'm learning that it's okay to do that, because then after, like, get it out of the way. And then right after that, you're like, hey, I can do this and I'm going to figure it out. Like sometimes we just need a good fucking gross, ugly cry. And then it's like, all right, dude, like I'm ready to like fucking go. Yeah. So anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to like jump on your thing, but no. What did you do after that scenario? Like after you were.
So after that, something clicked, something completely clicked. And I walked into the house and I told my girlfriend, I said, hey, I'm going to start a print shop. And she's like, here we go. She's like, how? You have no time. Like, how are you going to do this? And I said, I found a guy. He's free. He's not going to charge me a dime. He works long hours. He's going to bend his back backwards for me. He's basically going to do everything I tell him to do when I tell him to do it. And she's like, who? And I was like, Jaime. So my oldest, his name's Jaime, right? And she's like, your son? And I was like, no, me.
Hey guys, I hope you like this episode so far. If you can, do me a quick favor. Again, it means a lot and helps the show grow. Hit the like button. And if you can hit subscribe, that's even better. That's even cooler. Thank you. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the episode. See ya.
I've done it for everyone else, and I continue to do it for everyone else. And I think at that point in time, it was time for me to do it for myself.
Well, I think someone who works 3 jobs and then takes the time to develop a product and do everything else for everybody else has the drive to be able to like build your own thing. Like at that point, you've proven yourself that you can do those things. And 2, no offense, but who is she to say you can't do it? She's the one who fucking hooked you in the first place and said, hey, try this thing. Exactly. So it's like... What do you expect me to do at this point? Like,
yeah. So I did the next best thing. I went back to McLogan's and I was like, I'm back. And he was super excited. He sold me a press that had the 4-color press, 1 station with an oven on the bottom. Mm-hmm. And in the showroom, it was like, oh, this is great.
Was that the lowrider?
Yeah. So I got it, and obviously on the show floor, it was like, oh, this is sweet. I got it back to my garage, and I was like, oh, this sucks, bro. Like I turned it on, and I'm like, I just feel this heat in my face, and
yeah, it's just like, rolling out. I've always wanted to try one, but I've never seen one with one.
I was like, no, there's no way. I kept it for a week. I called him back, and I said, I can't do this, dude. And he's like, bring it back. All good. And I was so scared to even call him and say like, hey, like, I want to return it. So then I went to plan B and I was like, man, what do I do? Like, I need to get all this stuff, but I don't want to start, with like the blue press on Amazon or whatever, or Facebook. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. So I went to Ryonet. I got me a 6-color 4-station. I called Vastex, got me the Vastex dryer, D230. Then I got a Ryonet brought out like a chili type of flash, but it was like their own brand, where it had a sensor, so every time the patent went around, it would flash. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing the traditional flash. I was like, nope. I'm gonna go with that.
Was it a quartz flash with the bulbs, or was it IR, but it just had like a sensor?
It was the quartz.
Because I know they have the ones. I know they have the ones that kind of spin away. You know what I mean? Like they're the IR flash that stays on, but like it kicks back to the pallet when you need it, and then it kicks away when you don't need it.
This one's with the bulbs, and I was like, "This is awesome." I mean, every time we flashed the shirt in the garage, it was like,
right,
like the heavens would open, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
Got got me a wash booth, got me everything. I was ready. I was ready to rock. And I started making phone calls. I called a buddy of mine and I said, hey, you know all those staff shirts that you guys do? I can do them. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, yeah, I'm printing shirts now. I'm back. Like, you know, I can do all the staff shirts.
I'm
and
back,
like,
baby.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, I can send you the file and the logo. You can make me a sample. I was like, don't worry, dude. I got it. I already got all that. Because when I worked for the program, I was the one selling them to my staff there. Right. So I was bootlegging them. I was like, don't tell anybody. And, you know, that's okay if he hears it now. It's fine.
Yeah.
So he brought me an order, and it was a huge order that he put in. And I was like, dude, like, there's no way that I can do this. So before that order, I actually took the Rionet print class. And that's where I met Ross. I met Ross, Nicole, and Jerry. Ross was teaching the class. Nicole was in the back of the classroom helping out and teaching as well. And then Jerry was the general manager for the Cerritos Rionet store, which is no longer here.
That's a great group.
Yeah. And they've grown up a lot. And they've been doing a lot. So it's like, I just want to be like them, you know? When I took my class, I asked Ross and I said, hey, I need some advice. What would you advise somebody that has 3 kids? I said, no, actually, I said that time it was 4 kids, a full-time job, and wants to start a shop. And he's like, quit your job. And I was like, yeah, it's not happening. And he's like, well, it's not going to work. And I was like, oh, it's going to work. And he's like, no, it's not. It's not going to work. You cannot devote 100% with your family, your shop, and work. You can't. You just can't do it. And I said, oh, it's going to work. So every year,
like, motherfucker, I had 3 jobs already, and I'm giving up time. I can make this work.
So
you're
every
not
year
the
after
average
that,
man.
Exactly. So every year after that, at Impressions, I would walk up to him and be like, I'm still here. I'm still here.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of gratitude there, right? Because it wasn't that he didn't believe in me. It was that he pointed out the obstacles. He pointed out like it's going to be
sure.
It's not easy, right? And it's great now talking about it because I saw him at this trade show and I was like, there, I'm unemployed now. So congratulations.
Hell yeah.
And he's like, I told you so.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it doesn't work after 12 years. And he's like, yeah, it works.
So, I mean, we met, I don't even know how many years ago now it was, probably like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah. Bro.
And so how long did you do the manual thing before you got the bigger space? Because I didn't realize you were still working like other jobs while you had, because when I visited you had an awesome shop. You had like auto and beautiful place and you know, everything. It was like, okay, this dude's legit like whole thing. Like I in no point thought that this was a side hustle for you. I thought that this was just like a normal, well-running print shop. So congrats to you to have that and still be working. So
thank you. It was year 3 when I jumped into my auto. Shops have been running for 12 years now. So when you came here, I was on my second auto, which means that I was on year 3 of being on the auto side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
So did anything happen between you getting the Rionet set up to getting auto, or is that just like you were cruising and growing and doing anything? Like, is there anything of note in there? I don't want to skip over anything.
No. So when I got my setup, I moved to the garage. I built everything there. I found a printer that was willing to print at night in my garage. And what I noticed the second day that he showed up, he had his cousin and his dad in the car. And I was like, why are they in the car? And he's like, oh, because after we get off of work, we have to come here, and they'll wait for me in the car because I don't want to drive them home and then have to come back. And I said, okay, so what if we give them a job as well? Like, can they print? And he's like, well, yeah, because we print somewhere else. And I was like, all right, well, bring him on. Like, he can catch and he can wash screens.
So these dudes were just chilling in the fucking car in the driveway?
Yeah. So I was like, no, come on, let's, just bring them in. And a year in the garage. Now, a year of getting up in the morning, going to work, getting home at 5, then going to the garage at 6 and hitting my pillow like around 3, 4 in the morning for a year. Right. And in that, kids, and in that, family, and in that, everything. Right. So it was the hardest year of my life, but I knew there was an end goal, and I knew there was a rainbow at the end of it,
Also, I want to point this out again, just putting out the fact that you're a fucking amazing human being, is that you were solo. You hired one guy to come in and work, and then there's 2 other dudes in the car. You're like, fuck it, hired. Like, hiring 3 people immediately, basically, instead of just being like, okay, because most people, when they hire their first employee, they don't have the budget to pay that first employee. They're just kind of like, we'll figure it out. You're like, nah, dude, let's hire you and your fucking family, and we'll just make it work somehow.
Yeah.
So again, just continue. I'm just trying to figure out how this works.
Yeah. So from the garage, I found a space down the street from my house. All I can fit in there was the machines. I couldn't fit in the wash booth or anything else. So I would have to go to work, get out of work, come back home, prep the screens, take them to the other place, and then they would print. I had one person that I hire at that location, and then she followed me here, and she's amazing. I've been chasing her ever since she left. I actually called her yesterday. So Marisol, shout out to you. She knows, and I called her. I said, I need you back, and she's like, oh man, the depression, the stress, and the diarrhea. Nah, I'm good.
It's the diarrhea that gets her. Everything else is doable.
Yeah. That's what she said. Yeah. So from there, I found the place that I'm at now, which was 1 unit. I have 3 units now. Found the unit, had 2 manuals. We were printing just fine. But the volume was there, right? Like we were printing 1,500, 2,000, 3,000 pieces. Like the volume was there. And I started doing contract work, but I didn't know how contract work worked, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I read an ad. I don't think
anybody does when they first start doing it.
Yeah. So the only thing I understood was, okay, how much does it cost for me to print a shirt? And that's how I'm going to charge. So I'm pricey when it comes to contracting, but because I saw it as, well, I'm just doing the labor for it, right? I never saw it as, well, I'm going to offer 50 cents because that's what everybody does.
And I think, not to get super off topic, but I think a lot of people, and I'm guilty of this too, when I first started doing it, is like, you just see the blank cost as your only cost. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are like, all right, well, this job I would charge $9, but $4 of it is the blank. Like I'm profiting $5 or something. It's like, no, you're not. Like there's other things in there. There's like the staff doing it. There's the electric bill. There's every other expense as well. Like you might be making $1.50, not $5. But a lot of people I think are just like, all right, well, I can do that for this because my profit is going to be $5. And it's like, that's not the reality. So yeah. Anyway,
so
continue.
I guess in a way it worked in my benefit because I didn't know what I was doing, so therefore there wasn't anybody to copy. But I knew like number times number equals this, and that's how I started. I started getting bigger orders, and then I went to the ISS show. And as much as I hate this story, I want to tell it because I'm sure the person that was helping me didn't mean anything by it. It's me reading more into it. But I did go to the M&R booth, and I walked up and I said, hey, I'm interested in getting one of these. Well, what do you run now? I have 2 manuals. You're not ready. Oh, okay. And he was on the press. He was like, he was going around and he was looking for people and whatever. And I noticed that he would pay attention to other folks more than me. And I was like, okay, I'll just give him his time. He's busy. And then he got free again. And I'm like, hey, so like, what does ready look like? Well, how many colors are you running? I was like, I don't know, anywhere between 1 and 5, my max is 6, so I can't run more than that. How many pieces? And I was like, well, I mean, I have orders from 12 to, 3,000 pieces. And he's like, yeah, no, you're not ready. I was like, okay. And he's like, did you have money to buy it? And I was like, well, I guess I would have to look at financing. He's like, yeah, you're not ready. And I was like, well, I'm trying to figure out, like, when will I be ready? And he's like,
dude, I'm trying to fucking ask you. I'm trying to get a little clarity here.
His response was, when you know, and he walked away. And then he went to a couple. And again, it's like, I hate playing the race card, but it's like, just because I look the way I look doesn't mean I don't have money,
Yeah.
Or I'm not willing to, overfinance to pay for this. Like, I'm Hispanic. I know how to take out a refrigerator out on loan. That's going to cost me $30,000.
Right. Exactly. Just figure that in.
I was bummed out. And I told my wife, I was like, hey, let's go to the show. Let's go to the back of the show. There's like a little room where Rock is. I walk into the little room that they have.
It's the atrium. It's the fucking biggest room.
I was like, what the? But dude, Ross saw me and he was, dude, what's up? Gave me the biggest hug. And the first thing he said was, have you seen Nicole? Go say hi to Nicole. Did you see Jerry? Go say hi to Jerry. I went around. I said hi to everybody, came back. And he's like, so what's up? And I was like, well, I'm still here. I was like, you're never going to let that shit go on. I was like, nope.
Yeah.
And he's like, so what's going on? I was like, I don't know. I'm considering getting on auto. And he's like, considering it? Fucking get it. What are you waiting for? Like, you have no idea how much time you're wasting on those manuals. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, I don't even know if I can afford it. He's like, screw that. Hey, come on. We'll go get you somebody from finance right now and they'll help you out. And I was like, okay. And they got me approved. And I was like, okay, now what? And the guy's like, well, you have $100,000 to play with. And I was like, yeah, I'm not spending $100,000. Ross was like, come here. I got you. We're going to get you this package. We're going to get you this package. We're going to get you this. We're going to get you this rebate for this Epson printer. We're going to do this for you. We're going to set you all up. I'm going to send Jerry to set it up. I'm going to take care of you. Whatever you need, you have my cell phone number. You call me. Dude, I was like, it's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah. I agree with you. I mean, fully, I've heard this story a bunch of times. It sucks to hear. It sucks that it's happening to anybody, but it's just one of those things. It's like, I tell anybody, I was like, go where you're going to get the best service or you're getting the best quality or the best attention or the best whatever. And, sometimes that's how it goes. Ross is a great dude and a lot of the people at Rock are amazing people. And I've become friends with a lot of them and, just they're crushing it right now when it comes to service and support. Yeah. And there's a lot of things going on, but in general, like I'm glad to hear that happened to you anyway. Like, I'm not glad that the other thing happened. Yeah. I'm glad that you found somebody to open their arms to be like, I will take care of you.
Yeah. Yeah. It was good. And the fact that the Rock is like, to me, it just seems so much easier to learn than the M&R. I knew that the problem going into Rock was that I wasn't going to be able to find an operator right away. So when the tech came in, I said, hey, how long are you here for? He's like, I'm here for 2 days and day 3 is training. And I said, okay, well, you have 8 hours training and that's all, like literally all you have to train me. And you have to teach me this machine from beginning to end. I'm giving you 8 hours to do a brain dump and just teach me everything. because after this, like, I'm the one running the press.
Right.
And he was like, you're not going to, I was like, dude, I'm going to learn it. And he's like, how are you going to remember all this? And I was like, just start. Just tell me when you're going to start. And then that's it. I'll take care of the rest. He's
Right.
like, do you want to record it? And I was like, no, I don't want to record it. Just go. And he was like, what the hell? It's like, okay. So he went through it and all that. On Monday, I was printing. I was already teaching my staff, like, okay, this is how you move this is how you move that. And I started teaching them how to use the machine.
You were Neo in the Matrix. You just uploaded the program and you were good to go.
Yeah. And I don't have time, or now I have time, but in the past, I didn't have time to waste, right? I didn't have time to just sit around and oh, maybe next week. Like, no. It was like, go, because I knew that Sunday, that's all I had, because I had to go back to work on Monday. Right. So got that unit, got the auto, got everything all set up. Then the next door, unit became available, and it was going to be too much for me to take on. So a customer walks in and placed the order. And I say, hey, so what do you do? And he's like, oh, I do murals. I own a little studio, up the street in Boyle Heights. And I said, how big is it? He's like, oh, dude, it's big as this little office. And I was like, cool. Do you want something bigger? And he was like, yeah, dude, but I can't find anything. And I was like, all right, I'll rent that one and you can have half of it. And he's like, what? I was like, yeah, I'll lease it and then I'll rent you half and that's it. We'll go from there.
Right. You'll use half, he'll use half.
Yeah. And he's like, why? And I was like, well, why not? I was like, you're going to spend almost the same and you're going to have 4 times the size and you'll be able to do more. And he was just like, what? Why? And I'm like, bro, like, I'm just like, it shouldn't be weird when people are trying to help you,
Well, it shouldn't be, but like the hard part is that people get burned, and they don't trust people that think like, oh, why do you want to go the extra mile to help me? Like, what are you gaining out of this? They don't know that you're a fucking giant sweetheart yet, but still, it's like, people.
Yeah, they're waiting for the other foot to drop, right?
Yeah.
So he comes in, he takes half of it. That's when it really starts ramping up for us. We were getting, we had one broker that was sending us 15, 30,000 units. It was cool. It taught me a lot, how to deal with the logistics and deal with all that. And, it was great. And then COVID happened. And then COVID just like demolished everything. In a weird way, because we had a great year in 2020. We had a way better year in 2021. It was like our record-breaking year.
That was the case for most people when it's like right after COVID. It was like, oh my God, we're booked up like 5 weeks. This rules. Yeah. And then it fell off a cliff.
Exactly. So 2022, 2021 December, I signed the lease for the other unit next door.
Because you were anticipating it to keep going like it was?
Yeah. So 2022 starts with crickets in January. It's okay. Because it's going to ramp up.
Right. It's January.
0 in February. Now I'm shaking. March. What the hell? It wasn't until March 20 something when we started getting orders again. And I was just like, bro, like I can't do this. Like it's not working. It's not working. And we go into 2023 with a loss of $300,000. And I'm just like, I don't know. I was confused. I was like, what the hell? And 2023 started and my determination and grit was like, no, like I got to keep going. And I made a lot of bad choices, especially on the lending part, right? You had a guest before that talked about that it was so easy to take a loan from these advanced merchants and like, hey, don't worry, we'll take care of you. It's only a daily payment of $99. and it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And by then, my belief is that the staff that I had were kind of seeing the writing on the wall, so they stopped caring. I came in one day and I was already done, fed up, and I basically fired everybody. My son was here at the time. I came in the morning. I told my son, close the gate. That's it. I'm done. I can't do this. Everybody
I
has to
remember
go
this.
home.
You were talking to me then. You're like,
Yeah.
I just fired everybody. It's like, Jesus. All right.
I went back home and I was like, I did it. I fired everybody. And she's like, what are you going to do? And I said, well, it took me a year before to get this up the ground, like get it off the ground and do this right. So it should only take me 3 months to get back up. And she's like, you're not going to sleep? And I was like, I probably not, but it's okay. Like, again, it should only take me 3 months.
Right.
So I went back to having production at night.
But this is also another one of those moments of like crying on the floor, figuring it out, learning from your mistakes last time.
Yeah, exactly. So came in. I was coming in at night, running production. The only person that I kept was my son. So he would be here during the day, prepping everything. And I would come in. I called my old night crew. They came in to save me. They've always came in to save me. Like, those guys are like the best ever. Like, these are the type of guys that I can tell them right now, hey, I need you to print for me for the next month, and I cannot pay you a dime. But
Are these the same in the car guys?
No. The car guys, they already moved on. They already, all that.
All right.
I just, man, these guys are awesome, right? When I first met the main printer, I told him, I said, what do you need? Like, what do you need from me? And he was like, well, it would be nice to have an assistant. And I said, okay, do you have a person? He's like, yeah, I have a person. Bring him. I knew I couldn't afford him. I knew that there's no way I can, do the same thing again, bring in extra people when I shouldn't be. But I knew, like, that if you already climbed the mountain, now you're on the way down. Like, you're tired, but it's a whole different feeling, So they started coming in at night. I was just pushing. And October 17th, I was here at 1:00 in the morning, and I get a phone call. And my sister was in a car accident, and I was catching, and my mom calls me, and she's like, your sister's on the way to the hospital. She's gonna have surgery. And I said, what happened? And she's like, she was in a car accident. And I was like, okay, have you called anybody? No, not yet. Focus on her. I'll make the phone calls. I'm catching Dylan, and I get on the phone, and I'm like, hey, Vero was in an accident. Go to the hospital, this, that. I call my 3 siblings. I'm catching still, and I stop, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah.
And I walk over to them, and I say, hey, I gotta go. My sister was in an accident. I gotta go. I get there. She had internal bleeding, so they opened her up. From that Friday night, October 17th, it was 1:00 in the morning. So from that Friday through that Sunday, I couldn't think of anything else but her.
Right.
I couldn't think about work. I couldn't think about the shop. I put everything just on hold. Now, my son had left the shop about a week and a half before that. So there was nobody here. It was just the night crew. It was just whoever was willing to help me, get through these hard times. Then I'm sitting there in the hospital, and they're giving me this list of things that my sister, fractures and this and this and this. But it's like, I focus so much on everything else. And now reality just slapped me in the face and basically put it in front of me and said, you're going to miss all this. Because right now it's just your sister, but what if it's your kids? What if it's your mom, your dad? Like I turned into this whole new me where it was like, I got to change this. I got to change this and fix this faster than I needed to. Because I want to be able to walk in and not have to worry about anything else. Right.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things too. Like I've been there where it's like, this is my whole life. This is like what's important to me. This is everything. And then, yeah, you do get that reality check of like, oh, there is other factors. So there is my children. There is whatever. Like what I get scared of the most is like my kids, where it's kind of like, and I was even guilty of it over the last couple of days because I'm trying to like, it's January. I'm trying to get sales in. I'm trying to whatever. And like, I've been gone for 2 weeks and I have my kids and I want to hang out with them. I want to be with them. But I'm also like, a part of my brain's like, I want to be on my laptop while I'm hanging out with them. I want to like be sending emails and figuring things out and you doing this and that and the other thing. And then I'm like, fuck, what am I doing? Like my son was calling me the whole time I was gone, being like, I want to hang out with dad. And all he's been doing is he's in his room playing video games. He's asked me to play video games with him twice already and I haven't done it. And my daughter's watching fucking Lord of the Rings, like my favorite movie of all time. She's watching it, and I'm sitting on my laptop in a chair next to her, like watching it. But it's like, why am I not like sitting next to her? And we not have popcorn, and we're fucking talking about all these behind the scenes things. Like, it sucks, dude. Like, it's just the reality of like, what am I doing? Like, what am I trying to get all these sales and this whatever for, if I'm not using it to like spend more time with my kids or fucking do this, that, real life shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
So anyway, your sister, and then what happens after that?
So, I reevaluated everything, reevaluated where the shop was. I reevaluated where my work was, where family was. And me and my wife sat down and came up with the great idea that I should quit my job. And aside from her support, her understanding the reasons why and why we needed to do what we needed to do, and me wanting to focus more on the kids and help my sister and be there as she needs me, then I can't do it all. I was with the company for 18 years, right? So I was, the shop is 12 years old. I've been there 18 years. It was 18 years of just a lot of backbreaking, a lot of sweats, a lot.
I mean, it was your career. Like that was your real job, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. And I went to the CTO directly first, and I said, hey, this is what's happening. This is what's going on. And I need to make some life choices that are going to be very difficult. And I got to put in my 2-week notice. And he was just like, blown away. And he's like, you're asking me to let 18 years walk away, like out the front door, like, and I said, it's not a goodbye forever, but I just need to step away. And they were very supportive. My director, my CISO, my CTO, they were super, super, super supportive. They've even created a pathway for me to return if I want to return. But he said it best. He said, you're a good person and good things happen to good people. Mm-hmm. So go take care of what you need to take care of, and we'll keep your seat warm.
Yeah. I mean, it's awesome that they did that. I mean, you got to think of it too, like even you as a business owner, it's like you finally get a guy or a girl that's like great. You know what I mean? Yeah. They do their job well. They're good people. They have a good vibe. They can laugh. They can fucking have a good time. And then, something comes along where they got to leave and you're like, fucking hey, dude. Like, I know you got to go and do your thing, but like, do you have to? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I know your life is important, but like, this is really going to fuck mine up.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And it's,
well,
it's
you got to do it. Like, you got to go figure out if this is your thing. You know what I mean? I mean, I know it is. Like, I know that you're going to do great because you're already doing great. Like, you're already going through all the stages that great printers have gone through of like failures and starting over and having these presses and getting to a point where you're like, now I feel like I'm speaking for you, but I feel like you're in that spot where you're evaluating what is real for the shop, not just this like, because I feel like as a young printer, the goal is always like, oh, I'm going to grow to like 15 autos. I'm going to have 1 million employees and we're going to dominate this space and fucking whatever. And then printers get to a certain point where they feel like they're like, you know what would be cool is just to have constant work with like 10 employees and like 2 presses and just like be chill and like everybody gets paid. Yeah. And I feel like you're in that wave. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but you're just kind of, you were explaining family stuff. So it's like, you know, what'd be really cool is to have enough work to keep everybody employed and then go home at 5, spend time with my family, do real life. And then we're good. We'll do it all again tomorrow.
Yeah. I know what it is to need something, not want, need something, look for something, and there's no way for you to have it, get it, or receive it because no one is willing to help you. Mm-hmm. I know that feeling. So when I meet other people that I see that in them, that they all they need is that little just a hand, dude, I'm all in. I'm all in. You know,
I know you are.
Across the way, I leased another space. So there was we were outsourcing our embroidery and I met Jackie. So I asked Jackie, I said, hey, what do you want to do? Like, what's your goal? And she's like, oh, I want to have my own shop. I said, well, what stops you? And she's like, well, everything. Like, I can't get a space. I can't do this. So if you have a space, you'll start. And she's like, well, yeah, but then I got to buy a machine. I said, okay, so if I help you buy a machine, you'll move? And she's like, why? And I was like, why not? I was like, you know how awesome it would have been if somebody would have seen what I was trying to build and came in and said like, you know what? I'm going to help you because you're going to do amazing. I was like, that would have been great, but nobody did it for me. So now I get to do it for people.
I fully understand that.
Yeah. So I leased the space, put it under my name. I don't even know her, right? I don't even know if she's going to pay the rent or not.
Okay, that's a little crazy, but I understand.
I got the space. We bought the machine. We went 50-50 on it. She's doing amazing.
Yeah.
She's doing amazing. She's all on her own now, completely on her own. She bought out the rest of the machine. She has the space under her name. Like it's amazing, right?
But you were the one to give her the kickstart to like make it happen.
Yeah, and anytime and any moment, like she'll make a comment or she'll bring it up. It's like no, like you did it,
Yeah.
I just planted the seed, but in order for that seed to grow, you got to be here every day, and that's you, because I can't do it for you, you know. Mm-hmm. Same thing with my line of work. You know, I have a cousin that reached out. Same thing. He was like, hey, I'm trying to get into this, but no one will hire me because I don't have the experience. And I said, okay, give me a second. I called somebody, 18 years in the company, you might think you have some type of pull, Yeah, so I got him a job. Everybody loved him. Everybody loved him. Right now he's traveling all the US and he's making a good over close to 200 grand already. Like, and he's like, dude, you made it happen. I was like, I didn't make shit happen. That's right. You did it.
If you were a fucking turd when you showed up to work, it would be a different story.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's shining those rocks that think they're not worth anything. Just shine them up a little bit and take them outside so the light can hit them. And
I love it, dude. Yeah. Thank you for fucking doing shit like that. Because I think if the world had more people like that, you know, it's dumb. Like, this is a very small version of that, but I always like complain. Like, me and John McGee have this like joke where we text each other all the time, but like, I'm the person where like, if I'm walking on a trail, I'll say hello. Cause it's like, you know, like a little bit of like, we're in the fucking forest. There's literally two humans and they walk by each other. Why is it that they look in different directions and just keep walking? It's like, just take 2 seconds and be like, hello, how's your day? And then like walk. And it like lets the other person know like, oh, like I was seen and this person's a nice human. And like, they hope I have a good day. But like, things like that translate into a bunch of other things. Or like, if I see trash on the side of the road, like I'll pick it up. Or like, you know, I always think like I'm at the airport and there's someone on the plane that's like, it's late at night and they're like, fuck, I have to call an Uber. No Uber's going to pick up, whatever. Like, this doesn't happen to me, but I always am like, it'd be cool to hear them be like, oh, I have to go by Whitney Point and I have no ride. I would be like, yeah, get in the car. Like, I'll drive you. You know what I mean? Like, it's nice to like help people in that way, because it's like, there's so many times where I've been in a situation where I'm like you said, like I'm fucked, like I'm by myself. Nobody's here to help me or whatever. Like, you always wish that there's that person who's like, hey, I got you. You know what I mean? Like, come on, let's do this. Like, I don't know. It's just cool. Like, I'm appreciative of what you're doing is what I'm saying. I just wish that there were more people willing to do that. I know there's a lot of great people, but I feel like it's a very much the short list. Like I was talking about this, bringing it back to Long Beach or whatever, when I was doing like the live printing stuff. And by day 3, it's nothing but people just trying to get free shit. You know what I mean? It's like the printers are gone. Everybody who saw what they wanted to see is gone. It's just people with backpacks and wheelie carts, like grabbing shit. And it's like, so many of them just walk up and like hand you something. Like, they're like, print this. And it's like, just maybe like, hey, how's your day? Like, I want this one. Thank you. Please. I appreciate what you're doing. It's like, no, fuck you. Print this. And it's like, dude, I'm so like that makes my humanity like meter go down of like, fuck these people.
Yeah, dude. It's, and I'm pretty sure once this comes out and some people watch it and they're gonna be like, man, I'm as a dick. You probably deserved it.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, if I ever offended you or somehow you thought I was an asshole, you probably did something worse to me. And that's why.
For sure. Yeah. No, yeah, those people, whatever. I don't know. I mean, we get that as owners anyway. You know what I mean? Like, we have to take the brunt. Like, any person you ever let go or fire or whatever, it's always our fault to everybody. They're never like, you know what, I was an asshole or I didn't show up to work on time or whatever. It's like, no, fuck that guy. He was a dick. Yeah. And he was a shitty boss and fucking whatever else.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I was absentee boss for like so many years, you know, like I literally like the groups and everybody that I spoke to, like even the people that I would meet at previous ISS, they would tell me how stressful their life was running a shop. And then I would tell them like, well, I have 4 kids. I have a full-time job and I also have the shop. And they're just like, what the hell? Like, how do you even do this? You know? You find a way. You find a way because it's something you love. You know, you'll be surprised what seed gets planted out of desperation, depression, or anxiety. You know, my outlet was blowing out a screen at 3:00 in the morning. You know, so
that was what you got your frustrations out on. You popped a lot of screens back then. Fuck this screen. So that brings us back to kind of where we were at in the beginning, where I wanted to hear your story. Is kind of like, all right, you said, hey, I'm unemployed, which we all know now is that you are fully employed. You just are focusing on your new baby. What's next? What's the future look like? What's the post-COVID? Oh my God, things went downhill, but they're kind of somewhat coming back. Like, what does the 2026, 2027 look like for you?
So it's going to sound weird, but I don't want to work in the shop. My goal is to work on the shop. My goal is to be here as least as possible in the bestest way ever, because I want to work on it. I want to make sure that I build a team that actually wants to be here, people that see the same thing that I see when I walk in, so that I can pick up the kids and cook them dinner.
Yeah.
Like that's literally my goal. Like I'm going to start cooking because I love to cook and I used to cook a lot and now I don't do it as much or
It's in your
not at all.
family.
Yeah.
We'll get to that story in a minute.
So
but I want to be clear. I want to be clear though too to like people listening, and I've noticed this over the years. Like, there's two kinds of people that are like the statement that you just said of like, I want the shop to run itself so I can, live and do life. I feel like there's certain people who are like, oh, I want to get my shop to the point where it runs itself, and then they just fuck off. They're like, oh, I play golf every day, or I do this other thing, or whatever. Like, yeah, you can do that for a little while, but then there's the people who say like, I want to pull myself out of the shop to work on the business. Now that's the goal. Like, the focus is like, they're still working. They're still grinding it out and doing all the things they got to do, but they're working on growing the business or putting in systems and processes to make things run better. They're not in the day to day, like pulling a shirt or, putting ink in a screen. They're just more now like, this thing just needs fine tuning. It needs education. It needs me to join small groups. It needs me to go to shows or go to other things to learn new tricks or whatever. You don't want to be that shop that's, in a bubble that you find 20 years later that's still using Corel and only prints 10 by 10 and whatever. You need to go evolve and like learn things. So I feel like at a certain point, like you said, you get to that evolution of like, you're the owner who now is doing the creative and doing the learning constantly, like way more than you could if you were just working half the day. Like in the shop with your hands, you know what I mean? So that's what you mean by that is
exactly.
I just want it to be like, you're not just like, all right, cool. Like I'm fucking going to be home watching Matlock and making dinner.
I want to be present, not absent. Right.
Yeah.
I think before I was absent, as much as I thought I was present, there was no way that I was actually present. But now I have the opportunity to, really look at my numbers, look at my losses, look at my, your KRIs, your key risk indicators, what's actually moving the bus. But not only do I want to know what's moving the bus, is I want to be able to drive it, right? Walk in on Mondays, have meetings with the staff, be connected with the staff, but trust the staff that they're going to do what they need to do in order for us to be successful without having me be in the office, right? Because if I'm not here, I'm picking up the kids from school. If I'm not here, I'm dropping off the kids from school. If I'm not here, I'm with my sister. If I'm not here, I'm cooking. If I'm not here, I'm enjoying a nice, peaceful dinner with my family because we've never had that in 18 years.
Also, right? You've earned it at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've worked all these jobs. You've done all these things. You're at a point in your life where you're like, I want this to mean something. I want what I've been working for I want to reap the benefits of it a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So hell yeah, I'm proud of you for getting to that point. And as a friend, like, it's nice to see that happen to good people. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to keep fucking grinding and grinding until you die. You're just, now you're like, cool. It, like you said, it's kind of like the karma thing of like, I do good things and hopefully good things come back. And I feel like you're getting some of that right now. So, and it's pretty crazy right now because I was sharing with Christina, like right now, a couple of people already told me, like, they're like, are you okay? And my response is the same, but different because I am okay. But they're like, dude, you look more depressed than ever. Like, you look sad. Like, and it's like, I told Christina, I said, look, my whole entire life, I've been in the middle of the ocean, paddling my legs, paddling my arms, just trying to survive. Right now, a big, beautiful plank just came in front of me and I'm holding on to it. I feel numb. I feel like it's too good to be true that I'm just floating. You're cautious.
And I'm just like I know Aston Kutcher is going to come out and it's like, Been punk bitch. Like I just, but it's a weird nice.
I get it.
It's just because
Yeah.
I've never had that. I've never had that. I always
But
had
you
to
also
be.
can't take it. You can't take it for granted either, and just be like, well, I feel like that happens where you get too comfortable now. You'd be like, oh, this is what life is, or whatever. And then something like a COVID comes along, or some other fucking bullshit with, politics or something where it kicks your legs off from under you. And you need to be prepared to be like, all right, well, I am willing to fire the staff and start over again. Like, you need to be prepared for another time laying on the floor crying, ready to start over. Yeah. And it's like, again, you're a seasoned vet at this point, but again, like, you can't act like it's never going to happen again. So I fully get what you're saying is like, I'm cautious, like, I'm happy, I'm ready to go, but I'm also cautious of like, is this real life? Yeah, exactly. But to anyone that's listening, I'm telling you, man, there's no greater feeling than understanding and learning from whatever happens. So if you are scared of firing somebody, just do it. Just do it and know that you're going to find someone else. Like that person, it could be the person, it could be the tool, it could be anything in your shop. It's literally taking up space for the correct person to step in. Mm-hmm. Just think of it that way. That's it, right? So now you want to talk about screen printing? No, not at all, actually. I don't want to talk about screen printing. I do want to talk about this story before we get into shop hacks, because I feel like every time we're together, we talk about it. Whatever it was 5 years ago or 6 years ago or whatever, when we first met in person, we went to a trade show, me and Andy, and we wanted to do a shop tour or whatever, and yours was there, and we were like, oh, yeah, let's go see him. Again, we get to the shop, beautiful shop. We're walking around the press. I know I have a photo. I'll see if I can find it, and I'll give it to Chad of like us in front of the press, like, whatever, hanging out. And then I've done a million shop tours. I've seen them all. And it's, you go in and you kind of get a vibe of the shop, whatever. And yours had a great shop vibe. Again, you're walking through rooms, you're seeing the dark room, you're seeing the presses, you're seeing the art room, you're seeing whatever. And then right before we fucking are done, we're hanging out by the press, and you're like, oh, look, like, come through this way. So it's like another room. It's like another chamber of secrets in your fucking shop. Open the door. It's like your mom standing there. Like, in my mind, I don't know if she had this at all, but in my mind, I'm picturing like this little lady with a fucking apron on or whatever. And there's all this food laid out. And you're like, oh, my mom made us lunch. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I've never experienced this in any other shop. Again, this goes back to your character. This goes back to your family. This goes back to you as a human being. You're number one out of shop visits that has ever been like tradition. My family's here. We're going to sit down and we're going to eat. And my mom made all this food. And it fucking, I'm not just saying this to you. I'm saying this in general. It fucking ruled. Like, it was so awesome to be like, hey, do you want, like, it was like a whole like taco bar. Yeah. And it was like, sit down, make whatever you're going to make and sit down and eat it. And it was like, dude, this, how is this the end of a shop tour? Like, like, it was just funny because like you and your mom were talking and like, it was like, oh, whatever. And then your mom was so sweet because she obviously made like 10x what we needed. And she was just like, oh, do you want to take some? And I was like, you tell it. This is how you tell it. I was like, yeah. It was like the cutest thing ever. So they both ate. They both loved the food. And then my mom's like, she looks specifically at Dylan. Yeah, because I'm a fucking grizzly bear. She's like, this motherfucker can eat more than like 3 tacos. She's like, she looks at me and she's like, you think he'll take some? And I said, ask him. And she's like, you want to take some? You want some to go? And then Dylan's like, yes. It was fucking good, dude. So anyway, I just wanted to say that story because it's so bizarre. Again, it goes back to like being giving and being caring and thoughtful. Like, there's so many people, and not to knock people who give shop tours or whatever, because you're fucking above and beyond. But it's like, you thought about it. you guys had a plan. You were like, these guys are coming, like, let's feed them. It's like, again, goes with culture and family and whatever. And it's like, it just was so warming and like welcoming to be like, hey, like we did this and we wanted you to have this and whatever. So I do want to say, like, I've said it to you before, but like, thank you for like that. But it's just it's one of those stories. Like I visited a million shops, and it's like one of the ones that lives in my like top 10 of like, this happened. Like, let me tell you what happened at the shop I visited. So, thank you for that. Dude. But
that's awesome.
Do you happen to have a shop hack of any kind? And being an outsider and hearing your story, I think that maybe a hack could be something along the lines of what you're learning now. And like, again, like maybe like the whole journey with fabric or anything you're doing now. Is there anything that you're learning of like, oh, knowing your numbers or this and that, or anything that anybody can learn from you?
Definitely when you meet other shop owners, you obviously don't have to, say every single detail, but open up because no one can help you resolve your problems if they don't know what your problems are. They could be going through the same thing and you just don't know it. The traditional conversation is like, oh, you own Upstate Merch? Cool. How many autos you got? It doesn't
What's your
matter.
square footage? Fucking, I hate that question. So I've always hated that question. If you fucking walk up to me and ask me what my square footage is, I'm just going to look at you and be like, I have no idea. I honestly have no idea. I've owned this building for fucking 15 years. I have no idea what square footage is. I do not care. It does not matter. Yeah. Does my shit fit in here? Yes. Like
I met Tyler, right? I met Tyler and I had to ask him. The first question I asked him was, what are your pains at your shop? Like, what are you going through that? And
I want to say this. I don't know if Tyler will hear this or not, but like Tyler is someone that I met in this industry. He's like, if I ever mention like, oh, there's people that are lifelong friends from this thing, and Tyler is by far one of them. Like, he is someone that I'm glad you two got together, because you're both like, no, seriously, like you're both like super genuine, just fucking awesome human beings. And like Tyler is one of those people, like we fucking tell each other everything and like we talk through things, and like he's just a fucking great dude and a good hang. And I'm glad that you two got to share.
I'm glad I got to return his air mattress.
Right. His soiled air mattress.
That was funny. So I had them Uber to my son's house, and then I told my son, hey, there's an Uber coming. And he's like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, 2 mattresses, one looks dirty, and sheets. And I was like, don't ask any questions, close them up, take them back to Walmart. Bro, what am I doing here? And I was like, do not touch it with your hands, though. You got to put gloves on. Do not put your fingerprints on those. And he was like, what am I doing? And I was like, just follow directions. Stop asking questions, kid.
Also, no judgment here, because I'm guilty of this before too, but it's like air mattresses and sheets and shit. Those are the things that are like no-nos to return. It's like, obviously you fucking, so it'd be like buying underwear, wearing them for a week and then being like, oh, I'll return these. I don't like how they fit. Like
he called me when he was at Walmart, and he's like, hey, there's a fucking sticker that says you cannot return this. Yeah. And I was like, well, can you exchange it?
But I think, I don't know how much they were. I mean, they were probably over $50, but I think Walmart, from what I can remember from being a teenager or early 20s, like Walmart has the policy, if it's under a certain amount, they'll just take it no matter what.
Yeah. Oh, they had him exchange it. So they said you can't get a refund, but you can exchange it. So once you go grab the new one.
So now you have brand new air mattresses.
No. Once you have the new one, we can refund the new one.
Oh, so the lady at Walmart gave you a loophole.
Like, okay. And my son to this moment, he's still like, I want to know what the fuck, what law I broke. What did I do? Like, something shady happened, because you would have been returning these, not me. I was like, you're good, bro. Don't worry about it. As long as you didn't touch them with your hands, you're good.
Don't put your DNA on them. Yeah, that's great. Well, so shop hack. So all I'm saying is that your shop hack is use air mattresses when friends come over, return them, or exchange them, then return them and get your full refund.
Exactly. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, cool.
I have a shop hack for manual shops.
Okay.
So if you have a table where you put down your screen and your film, traditionally what you'll do is you grab a T-square and then you kind of line up the registration mark with it. Don't do that. Put the film on your table where your lines are. Tape down the film. Put the screen down, and then with erase marker, little dot on the center of the reg marks. So grab the next screen, dot, dot, next screen, dot, dot. Then you can grab all your films and then line up the targets or the registrations to those dots.
To those when you go to the exposure unit.
Yeah. So it'll be a lot faster than you doing one by one.
Right. That's cool. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. I haven't heard it. I've listened to all 300 episodes and I haven't heard it.
Yeah. And especially going back through them all has been crazy lately. Like me and Jared have been, I mean, he's doing a lot of the heavy lifting, but I went through and like combed through all of the shop hacks and was like, this one, not so great. This one, really good. So they're all on the website now. If you're listening now and you haven't seen it yet, go to shirtshowofficial.com. There's a whole hacks page that's got like every hack from every episode. And we also have a timestamp in the episode where you can click it and watch it. But yeah, it's crazy to go back through and see all these. So I'm trying to keep that tradition going now by like having more shop hacks. So I'm glad you were prepared and had a couple for me. Yeah. I normally would ask greatest shop fail, but I feel like we went through a couple of them. Do you have anything that you didn't say that maybe someone could learn from? Be
clear when you speak and you tell people what to do. You saw my dark room the first time you came here. I kept calling it a dark room. When it got painted black. So communicate. Communication.
So it's extra dark room.
Yeah. So now it's white. I repainted it, so it's white now. So it's good now. Yeah.
Sweet.
But communication. Make sure that like for real. Like I think like a engineer, and my mind travels different. So you have to understand that not everyone thinks like you.
Yeah.
So you have to break things down a certain way so that they understand it.
I fully agree with that. I've talked about that a bunch of times on this show that like my common sense isn't, it's not common. Like it's not what everybody else thinks too. So you kind of have to over explain and kind of lay everything out, or it's just not going to happen the way that you think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Top 4 favorite movies of all time.
Anger Management. It's my favorite ever.
Why?
It's
a good movie. I'm just saying, like, I don't know too many people that have that on the top of the list.
That's me. Like, I walked around like just quiet for so long that it's like you know, like you just gotta just let it out, man. Like once you let it out, you feel better.
It resonates with you. That's why.
Don't ever tell anybody, calm down. Like, dude, yeah. That I would have to go with. Man, my kids are gonna hate me for this because I've always told I've told them that I hate this movie, The Night at the Museum.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love your picks. They're so fucking random, but they do speak to you. So I get it.
And the last one, I would say Back to the Future.
Back to the Future is always said.
Yeah,
it's a classic. It's great. Which one? That's the debate that we always talk about. Because the first one. All right,
the first one. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
See, and I've said this on the show too. Of like, the first one is a classic for sure. It's like the one to watch. But I think if I was like bored and I was like, I kind of want to watch a Back to the Future movie, I would pick the Western one. Like, I like the third one. I don't know why. It's probably because I've overwatched the first one, but like I like that one. I like the whole when he fucking jumps in, he's like getting chased, and then they put it in the cave, and then he's got to help Doc in the West, and everything's like a West. I don't know. I just like Westerns. Maybe that's why. But
yeah. Oh, one more. Serendipity.
Again, off the fucking wall, dude.
Yeah. Nothing happens by accident.
Mm-hmm.
Serendipity.
Christina just said that's one of her favorites too.
Yeah.
Again, dude, thank you very, very much for doing this with me. Getting me out of a bind as usual. That's your fucking MO. Also, you helped me out a little while ago too with a job that was for a customer last minute, and I appreciate you knocking that out too. They loved him. Everything came out great. Brother. So, hell yeah, it's one of those things.
I was nervous as hell though.
You didn't
I
have
was
to be.
nervous bro. You have no. I shared this story around this past weekend at the show. I was like, bro, like this guy is like super famous, and then all I was getting was like thumbs up, and I'm like, no, bro, like this is off a little bit, like it's good, like bro, like I wanted it to be perfect, you know.
I mean,
so
I appreciate that, but I'm also a human being, and like it's for a fucking band, like not to knock anything or whatever, or say something's not worth whatever, but it's like, I knew you were going to do great work. I knew it wasn't going to be a piece of shit. I knew that what this print wasn't anything that had to be like amazing and flawless. I just thought you were doing a great job. I know you were sending me pictures of being like, just tell me I'm doing a good job and these are good. So just like thumbs up. So it's like, hey, you're doing great, dude. As long as they get them on time, we're good. But again, thank you. I appreciate it. But
yeah, brother, anytime.
I'll let you get back to your day, and I'll shoot you a message after and we'll talk more.
Cool,
dude.
all right,
well, I'll see you later.
Peace out.